Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito.
Good morning, our beloved grade 7 students. This is your school on air. We are happy that you are here with us through radio. I am Teacher Jam from Lagao National High School. While tuning in, make sure that you are in place wherein you are comfortable and can clearly hear our broadcast. Have you eaten your meals? Be sure to have a full stomach to be active and alert. For now, get your mojo, notebook, and pen. You may also go to the comfort room for your personal necessities before we start. Grade 7, this is your lesson number 1 about scientific method.
DepEd 12 sa ere.
Good morning, students. I am Teacher Lenny. How are you? Today, we are going to discuss the steps in scientific methods. Scientific method is a systematic way of solving problems. Most scientists perform experiments to work out solutions to the problem. Doing experiments or conducting scientific investigations enable them to see the cause and effect relationship. The scientific method involves several steps. Step 1. Identifying the problem. What problem or issue do you want to work on? Is the problem clear and specific? Is the solution to this problem attainable? What questions come into your mind? What questions can be investigated? The developed questions can be solved through experimentation or a question that cannot be answered by a yes or a no. Step 2. Gather all the information or data. Get only relevant or important information about the problem. People's idea and arguments. Conducting further research may also be considered. Step 3. Formulate the hypothesis. Take note that a hypothesis is an educated guess, which means it is based on previous knowledge or past experiences. Before going further, let's take a recap of the first 3 steps in scientific method. Shall we do it together? Our first step is, the second step is, and the third step is. Very good! Now, let's continue. Step 4. Test the hypothesis. Testing your hypothesis or experimenting observation should be done closely to see if any relationship exists between and among sets of connected data or information. Establishing relationships is important in the experimental method. However, before testing the hypothesis, you should have an experimental design. The experimental design aims to test the factors which effects are to be studied. These factors are known as variables, the independent variable and the dependent variable. Step 5. Make a conclusion. In this step, all collected data are clearly analyzed and correctly interpreted so that you can decide whether to accept or reject your hypothesis. From this, a conclusion or generalization can be made about the study. Which leads you to our step 6. Verify the conclusion. To make sure that the findings are true, effective, and satisfying, repeat the experiment using the same procedures and conditions. If the results are almost the same, the conclusion is considered valid. So there you have it, the steps in scientific method. Can you now enumerate the steps in scientific method? How about identifying them? Let's see. Number 1. It is the developed question that can be solved through experimentation or a question that cannot be answered by a yes or no. Is that correct? Identifying the problem. Number 2. It is relevant or important information about the problem. It is also a people's idea and argument. Very good! It's gathering data. Number 3. It is an educated guess. Absolutely! Hypothesis is correct. Number 4. It is a procedure where you conduct an experiment to test your hypothesis that involves the variables. You got it right! Test the hypothesis. Number 5. Are all collected data are clearly analyzed and correctly interpreted? Great! Make a conclusion. Number 6. It is to repeat the experiment for verifying its validity. Perfect! Verify the conclusion. Good job! You got it all correct! Now that you already learned the steps of scientific method, you are ready to perform the activities to apply your understanding of the topic. For your activity, let us all together read the story of Dario. Please open your module on page 18 for your guide. Are you now ready?
A story of Dario. One day, Dario saw his grandmother gathered an herb called makabuhay from their backyard. He followed her into the kitchen and asked what she was about to do with the herb. Makabuhay, his grandmother said, it is often used to heal wounds. She said that she would cook the herb in coconut oil and then use it as a poultice on a wound on her leg. Later, Dario noticed that poultice did not stick long enough on the wound. It either dripped or dried up and peeled off. His grandmother had to apply the preparation repeatedly. After 5 days, the wound healed. Dario thought that the wound would have healed faster if the poultice had stuck to the wound a little longer. His inquisitive mind began its task of finding a way to make poultice stay on the skin longer. Dario recalled that when melted candle dripped on the skin and cooled, it stayed in place. He then considered mixing candle wax into the oily poultice to find out if it could be made to stay longer on wound. He told his grandmother about this and was further told that the herbal preparation could be easily applied while still bearably hot. Subsequently, they experimented on the preparation only, or find out that when it cooled off, it soon hardened and was soon difficult to apply. In the school, Dario consulted his science teacher. She suggested that he try using beeswax instead of candle wax because beeswax is softer. At home, Dario eagerly applied heat to the oily herbal medicine and gradually mixed in the beeswax. The result was a substance that managed to remain soft even while cooling off. He called this an ointment. This soft ointment would surely stay longer on the skin when applied, he carefully concluded. He then proceeded to test this assumption by recommending its use to some oil preparation. He advised his patients to apply the recommended medicine using the same time interval and applying the same amount each time. He diligently kept a record of the progress of his patients. Soon, he noted that the skin disorders treated with softer mixture healed faster than those treated with his grandmother's preparation. On the recommendation of his class, Dario entered his study as an investigatory project in his school's science fair and won first prize. And that was Dario's story all about. On page 19 on your module, read the guide questions and answer it. You will be given an ample amount of time. Write directly your answer on your module.
And you just have heard Teacher Lenny of Science 7 from Lagao National High School. You have already learned to identify the steps in scientific method. And now, let us try to check your understanding.
Magandang Jensan! Sa Lagao National High School, patuloy ang saya ng pag-aaral. Our curricular programs. For junior high school, we offer regular class, special program in the arts, special program in journalism, science, technology, and engineering, special education. For senior high school, we offer arts and design track, technical, vocational, and livelihood track, and academic tracks. Use humanities and social sciences, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and ABM, accountancy, business, and management. Our alternative delivery modes for junior and senior high school are evening class and open high school.
Find germs by washing your hands. Do it properly. It's easy. First is you have to wet your hands, then use a soap to lather and scrub. Scrub between the fingers, here and there, and up the wrist, and just rinse the soap away. Dry your hands and you're okay. Wash your hands. Protect yourself and wash your hands.
Desde sa ere.
And we're back. Let's check your answers. Question number 1. What was Darius' problem? Yes, Darius' problem was finding out how he could find herbal preparations stay long in contact with the wound. Question number 2. What initial observation prompted him to study the said problem? That's right. His grandmother's medicine did not stay long on the wound. Question number 3. What relevant information did Dario use in designing his experiment? Very good. Dario's observation was when a melted candle dripped on the skin and cooled, it stays in place. He also considered the suggestion of his teacher to use beeswax instead of candle wax because it is softer. Question number 4. What would be the possible answer on Darius' problem? Correct. Oily herbal medicine with beeswax will surely stay longer on the skin when applied. Question number 5. How did Dario test his hypothesis? Good job! He tests his hypothesis by recommending to his patients to apply the ointment at the same time interval and same amount each time. Question number 6. In your own words, state Darius' conclusion. That's it! The Makabuhay oil beeswax ointment stayed longer on the wounds than Makabuhay mixed with oil alone. Question number 7. What are the steps in solving a problem using scientific method? Absolutely right. Absolutely right. 1. Identify the problem. 2. Gather information or data. 3. Formulate the hypothesis. 4. Test the hypothesis. 5. Make a conclusion. And 6. Verify the conclusion. Therefore, in solving problem, scientific method should be followed step by step accordingly. For now, our lesson ends here. You are expected to answer the next activities found in your module and be prepared for our next session's discussion and expect for a short quiz. Thank you for listening. Till next time.
Grade 7, you just have finished your session for today. For questions, clarifications, or any concern, you may text the number provided on the given kit. 0912 0912-345-6789. Again, 0912-345-6789. Or you may send a message via email to lagaonhs@deped.gov.ph. This is your School on Air with Teacher Jam. Kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat.